Assalamu alaikum. So I have been thinking about a lot of things. Thinking about a lot of things these days. And going deeper on so many things. And it's been so interesting and fascinating to really get into all the connections. So I just wanted to hop on here and see if anyone had any thoughts, had any questions, especially around my last two posts on Instagram. One was about Khadija radiallahu anha and how she was an independent, successful woman who was looking to really form a true partnership and union. She didn't need to get married for money. She didn't need to get married for wealth, for prestige. She had those things. But what she saw in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and this is Muhammad before he was a prophet, so what she saw in the man Muhammad was something so inspiring and interesting to her that she was like, okay, well, maybe, if I was to get with someone, if I wanted to be with someone, I want to be with him. And then my other post was about on the men's side, right? How same thing, like that Khadija radiallahu anha wasn't trying to get money, get trips. Oh, now I have a mahram who can take me to different places, or I can go out on dates, or he's gonna love me and give me gifts. She wasn't trying to get things from him. She wasn't trying to have him do things for her. She just really was taken by who he was. And so, yeah, if you guys have any comments or thoughts around those two posts, it's been what I love about coaching and why I do coaching is because in thinking about other people's challenges, issues, problems, it gives me some distance from my own, right? My own struggles, my own challenges. But in thinking about other people's problems, why they're facing them, why they're struggling with them, why they're repeating the same patterns, why they keep coming up, and digging into it. And it's easier for me intuitively to kind of sense things, to pick up on things, and to get a bigger context of what is going on, that I can see and help, be like a clear mirror for them, be a clear mirror for my clients, or for anyone who messages me or approaches me on what is going on. And then in doing that for another person, I will inevitably come to some realization for myself. Like, oh my God, that's why I do this thing, or that's why I've been struggling there, or that's why that relates to my childhood with this. And so it helps me. And so I get to heal, I get to grow, I get to get better, I get to expand in the helping of others. And so it's so amazing because we really do need each other to heal. Like, I cannot see and assess and figure out all of my own issues on my own. I cannot. I need an outside mirror. And just like you cannot do it for yourself. So someone doing it for you, and then you can, and then we're all connected. We are one ummah, right? We are one ummah. When one of us hurts, all of us hurt, right? So whatever struggle, challenge, hardship you're feeling, we're all feeling it, right? So the underlying issue of feeling like you're not good enough, we're all feeling that. The underlying issue of wondering whether you're going to get what you want, in a reasonable time frame or in this lifetime, we're all wondering. And so it's so it's just been really so if you guys don't know, my husband and I have wrote a book called Before I Do. It was originally started as just, we wanted to provide over 150 questions on all the different topics and all these different questions, to really understand and get to compatibility and know if someone is a good fit for you. So we started with just those questions, and then we started writing sections to explain how to use the book or what people get hung up on, and the book kind of has expanded and expanded and expanded. And in the process of writing this book, our marriage has transformed and we've like uncovered so many different things. Like in the process of writing this book, we'd be thinking about, remember we interacted with that one couple who had this, or this other couple who had that, or blah blah blah, and we'd be talking about it and see how we can apply those lessons into the book, or thinking about whatever we did during courtship, whatever, all of these different things. And we just have grown and learned and appreciated so much about the way we operate, about our marriage, about our challenges, about what works well and what's going good. And so it's been like, it's so funny that, that you write a book, you're like, okay, you know what, people keep asking me this question, I'm going to write a book to help them. And really, it's like Allah saying, this book is for you. You're writing this book for you. This book is to help you. You think you're doing it for other people, or to, to sell books, or to spread awareness, or so people can know about your work, or so you can get, more eyes, or more contracts or clients or whatever. But literally the book was for me. The book was for my husband. The book was for us. The book was for our marriage. The book was for us. And that's so fascinating. It's literally so fascinating that we're here to help others, because in the helping of others, we help ourselves. In the helping of others, we help ourselves. We're here to, and it's important to think about now, because these days too, right, the buzzword is self-love and self-care, and, set your boundaries and all of those things, which I'm not against. It's just that in some ways we've kind of taken it, I don't know if we've done that. What I mean is, yes, we have to take care of ourselves, but in our service to others, we also are taking care of ourselves. In taking time out from others, hearing another person's problem and seeing how you can, sitting with a friend and hearing their struggle, you will learn something about your own struggle and your own life that will support you, unlock something for you. It will help you. So in serving others, it will help you. And so it's just, mosquitoes. Oh my God. No, I need to go inside maybe. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going. Just a lot of deep thoughts. If you've been following me here for a while, also a lot of things that I never have really shared before. Or I used to kind of want to just keep it focused on the individual. If you're trying to get married, or if you're struggling with this, I can help you specifically. Let's deal with, what's going on with you, what you're facing, and how you can shift your mindset, shift your beliefs to be able to get it. And I was keeping it focused on the individual, because I'm like, well, it's your life and that's probably what you care most about. And so let me just, talk about you improving your life. And then more recently, I'm like, well, there's a bigger problem here, right? It's not just a problem for you that you are constantly experiencing heartbreak and feeling alone and and sad and frustrated and crying. It's not just a problem for you. It's also a problem for me. It's also a problem for the world. It's also a problem for society, because you being in that state affects all of us. And you being in that state is an indication of a larger issue. And so, especially like these last two posts, getting at that larger issue, that like it's disrupting the balance of, men and women. It's disrupting the balance of families. It's disrupting the balance of society. It's bigger than just you being in love and like running off into the sunset. I want you to have that. Inshallah, you can have that. Inshallah, you will get it and it'll be amazing and it will be more than you even dreamed of. But it's even beyond that. You running off into the sunset is an indication of things working well, right? When things are in balance, when things are working well, when things are in harmony, when people are in a state of trust, when people feel connection and they can be open and they can be vulnerable, then things work well and you can run off into the sunset. It's when we're all like in this kind of madness of, no one's going to want me and I can't have this and Allah is against me and I'm too educated or I'm not tall enough or I'm not pretty enough or I'm, whatever. My parents are against it. All of this kind of drama of like why it can't happen and why it's bad and why it's not working, that we all suffer. And so it's larger than this, just you. It's larger than just you. But when you focus on you, getting your stuff right, getting your love, giving love and receiving love, you help the whole. So it's not that you need to run around and like, it's like that saying, right? Like, whatever. It's not that you need to run around trying to save the world and, oh my God, the patriarchy and what am I going to do? And, and this and that and wars and whatever. It's literally when you take care of yourself, that does help the whole. That does, when you are able to give love freely and receive love freely, that does help reduce war. When you are able to, heal relationships with your parents or your siblings or whatever, that does heal the world. So you focusing on you getting into that amazing marriage or relationship or whatever, does support the whole. And like, I just think it's so beautiful, subhanAllah, like how Allah has orchestrated things for us that we are not burdened with all of the problems, right? We are not burdened with all of the problems. And when we try to solve problems for ourselves, try to improve our own lives, we are blessing ourselves, blessing our own lives, trying to strive for our blessings, bring more blessings into our life, blesses the whole world. Like, how amazing is that? How amazing is that? That like me trying to, get my money right helps everyone to be getting their money right. Me trying to have more love helps everyone to experience more love. So it's just amazing. I mean, I think we have so many notions of things wrong, and not even that I think, we do. We just do, right? Like, the world is topsy-turvy, upside down, all messed up in so many different ways. And it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be as complicated, as dramatic, as heartbreaking as it is. And we don't have to be weighed down by how crazy it is. We just can take a moment, take 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and look at the craziness within ourselves and see how we can let it dissolve, how we can let it soften, right? Like, verily in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find peace. That we can sit and remember, you know what? Allah is in charge. Allah has got me. Allah is all loving. Allah loves me. Everything is working out for my good. Like, I can have what I want. Allah's on my side. Like, just, you can sit and reduce the craziness within your own self, and how that helps reduce the craziness in others. Like, I don't know if you have that friend or had that moments, where you are going crazy, right? The heartbreak or the parents or the whatever issue, the money, and you're going crazy, and you talk to a friend who maybe you feel like they don't even get it, or they're not telling you, but they just calm you down. Their presence calms you down, or their calm demeanor calms you down. They'll let you get out all that crazy, and they're like, okay, it's not all that, right? It's not going to be all that like spiral of doom that you've just said. It's just, these one, two things that are happening, and they don't have to lead to the spiral of doom. They don't. And they can't, and they could not, and everything could change, and things could shift, and it could turn out to be amazing. And that sort of reassurance, or hearing that from a friend, how that can just like ease your heart and be like, oh, okay, it doesn't have to be crazy. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about. Like, that we need to find more ways to do that for ourselves on the regular. Because basically, if you listen to the news, which I don't recommend, don't listen to the news, don't watch the news, don't consume the news. It's just a spiral of craziness. It's a spiral of craziness all around. And how can we let go? let go of that. Let go of that. All right. I haven't seen any questions or things come in. If you have any, let me know. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to go inside soon because the bugs are out here attacking me. Yeah. What else do I have to share? Oh, someone asked a question. How did I know that my husband was the one? That's a great question. The handle is Jihid. And if you got the book before I do, and with the book you get a Q&A session that we recorded for it, we kind of get into it. Or we help you think through this. But essentially, you will never know that someone is the one. It's really, as you're talking to people, you're gonna know more quickly that someone is not the one, right? You're gonna know like, this is not the one, not a good fit. Next. And the key there is to be able to do that quickly, to quickly be like, no, next, and not be like, well, let me just give him a chance. Or they also have these really good qualities. Am I being too hasty? Maybe it can work. No, if you like get that feeling of they're not the one, quickly, no, move on. Don't waste any more of your time. That is what leads to heartbreak, is by you thinking possibly, maybe, well, they came to me. No one else has come in a long time. What if I don't meet anyone else? I'm just going to keep. If you're thinking those thoughts, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak. So that's number one. It's much faster and easier to see and notice and feel that the person is not a right fit, and it can be for any reason. And you do not need to be like, well, it's such a small thing. It's such a small thing. Am I being so like? It doesn't matter how big, small, whatever it is. If you are feeling off, you'll leave. So that's number one. The second thing is, how do you know that they are the one? Again, you won't, but you will have an overwhelming sense, an overwhelming feeling of like, well, there was nothing that made me run away. There's nothing that made me feel uneasy. And when I'm with them, or when I think about them, or when I envision our future, or when we have conversations, I feel good. I feel in general, I feel at peace. I feel heard. I feel seen. I feel valued. I feel respected. I feel positive. I feel good. And you feel like you can relax. You feel like you could share your most embarrassing story, your vulnerable moment, the person that you resent at work, the heartbreak that you were in before, your crazy wild childhood. You feel like you can share those things. You feel safe. Then those are your clues that like this can work. And what makes someone the one is now you. Now you committing and saying like, this could work. And yes, let's get married. You are my one. And now that commitment is what makes them the one. You are committing now. You are my one. And whatever is going to come up, we're going to handle it. We're going to deal with it. We're going to get through it together, because I have decided, right? You get to decide. You get to decide that they're your one. And now you, because of that overwhelming feeling, can kind of feel good and confident and at peace that like, we're going to be able to handle things, because you don't know what the future holds. You don't know if a pandemic is coming. You don't know if a war is coming. You don't know if, we're all going to like return to the Stone Ages. You don't know. So it's not even like a question of, oh, well, do I know them well? Sorry, guys, I'm at my pool, so just trying to keep it modest here. You don't know what's going to come. And so there's no way that you can know they're the one. We are going to be 100% happy and everything's going to be, sunshine and roses. Like nothing ever will. Crap is going to happen. Things are going to, go down. And what you just want to feel is like, I can get through stuff with this person. So I hope that answers your question. Jihid. Okay, we have another question. Was there any premarital counseling sessions before you both got married? We book of questions to ask before he got married. And if you're in the Keys to Love series, you will know that I was very diligent about going through those questions and asking the questions to be able to know if we were compatible, if we would get along. And the reason why I'm saying that is because these days, all the time, it's kind of, especially in the West, it's like in fashion, right? It's the way to do it is kind of like, oh, they're cute, I'm cute, do we like each other? Let's go on a date, halal date, whatever date. Let's go out, let's go bowling, let's go this place, let's go meet at this, let's check out this museum together, see if we're vibing, see if we like each other. And that just sets you up for heartbreak. There's no other way around it. If you go about it, right, it's sold to you as like, well, I want to go about it in like a romantic way. I don't want to just like, do you want to get married? Tell me your whole history. I'm going to tell you mine. Do we think like we can match up? It just seems like so cold and so formal and so professional. Like, no, I want to be swept off my feet. I want to get butterflies of excitement. I want them to I want to feel like I want to hold their hand and then not hold their hand. We want this romance. We want the cutesy romance movie. But the cutesy romance movie will not set you up for a lifetime of happiness. What will set you up for a lifetime, not of happiness, but a lifetime of like being able to understand if you really get along with this person. And so you want to be more professional. You want to be more formal. You want to be like, hey, you present as someone that there might be a fit here, and let's find out if there is. And have then deeper conversations around important topics and issues so that you can figure out if that's the case. Because if you catch feelings before you've established that, you will cloud your judgment when you see the thing that like, this is not good. This is not what I want. This is not the lifestyle I want. Or they have these views that I don't agree with, or they have this these ideas for their future that are not the future that I was thinking for myself, or whatever. You are going to talk yourself out of the uneasiness that you feel because you've already caught feelings. And if you catch feelings before you've established the basics that you want, you're just putting yourself in a world of hurt. Because either A, you're going to break up with them. You're like, oh, wow, I noticed this, right? This is not what I want. I'm just going to break up with them. But it's going to be a bit more painful than if you hadn't caught the feelings already, if you'd found out those things first, if you'd had those discussions first. Or the worst scenario, because you've caught feelings, oh my God, guys, the bugs. Because you've caught feelings, you'd be like, oh, well, I know I really wanted that, or I know that doesn't really make me feel good, but maybe it'll work out. Inshallah, things will get better. If if I'm feeling so strongly, Allah will make a way for us. And you will start justifying and bringing Allah into it in this way that is unproductive. You are the agent, the actor, the main character, the star of your life. And Allah gave you free will to make choices. And Allah does not override your free will. So if this person is presenting you with things that are not in the lifestyle that you want to have, and then you're going to throw it back to Allah, well, Allah, I'm just praying that Allah will make it work out. You make it work out. You either sit down and have a serious conversation with the person. Hey, look, I love you and I care for you and whatever. All of these things that I think are great about us and what could be. But these two things or this one thing is not what I want, not what I agree with. How can, what compromise can we come to, or what thing can we, and you talk about it and you hash it out. There is no Allah overriding your choices and your ability and your actions and your things. I hope this is super clear, because the main mistake with Muslims, and this is from experience, in any aspect of life, right? This is in work, in family, in socializing, in relationships, in any aspects of life, is that we think that what is our responsibility is Allah's. And so we sit around because we're like, well, I'm waiting for Allah. I prayed and now I'm waiting for Allah. Like, I'm doing my part, I'm praying, and your part, you think you're doing your part, but it's just like some small, shallow something, right? And you're waiting for Allah. And if there's something in your life that you have been praying about and waiting for, just let me know. How long? How long have you been praying for? How long have you been waiting for? Because nothing's going to change. Question, is this going to be saved? I wasn't going to save it, but now we've kind of gotten into some heavier things, so now I will save it. Yes, this live will be saved. Yes. Yeah, that is the main issue. I tell you, like, me getting married to my husband, and how well things went down for us, to the point that I can write a book about it, is because it is literally it was the first time that I took charge of my life. It was I didn't deflect to my parents. I didn't, have a brainstorming session with my friends. What do you guys think? Do you like them? Whatever. I took charge. The suitors who came, my parents brought me people, and I was like, nope. Very quickly, like, don't you want to talk to them again? No, their whole demeanor and attitude, not what I want. Don't bring them to me again. I am not interested. I do not care what our family connection and blah, blah, blah. No, it was very clear on what was a no quickly. And so I don't think there was more than one meeting with any person before my husband. And then when I started talking to my husband, and if you ever meet James or go on any of his sessions, he's very charming. He's very charming. And he's very sweet. And I mean, obviously now I love him so much. But I remember, it's not I remember, I know. And I've told him, I was like, I don't want to fall for your charms. I do not want to fall for your charms. We are going to go about this in a very professional way. It's like, it was like, he'd send me gifts. I'm like, yes, I received your gifts. Thank you. Right? I'm not going to get emotional about it. I'm not going to be, oh my God. Right. Even though inside I was melting, but I was like, nope. We need to establish compatibility first, right? I'm not going to get myself into any sort of, trouble or shenanigans. And I meant that in the sense that, what I knew about myself was that I was a people pleaser. I'm the oldest daughter of African immigrants, a Black girl living in white suburbia, my whole life, just trying to be good, trying to fit in, trying to have people like me, do what I'm told, get good grades, go to law school. I didn't want to go to law school, do this and that, take care of your siblings, just do whatever. My whole life felt like a service to others. And so, especially for women, right, marriage is supposed to be your freedom, your way out, right? So I'm like, okay, right, I'm going to get out of my home life where I'm a service to others, and I was very active in my masjid and my community, serving. Not that they're of course, there's many ways that I love to serve, and that was good to serve, and all of those things. But there's a feeling of, I have to do these things because I am good, and this is what a good girl does. And so when my thinking around marriage was, okay, this is me setting up the rest of my life, and I do not want it to be just me blending into some guy's life, or just being of service to them and their family, or just going along. I was like, if I'm going to be, entering into this lifetime commitment, it's got to be good. It's got to be good, and I got to get something, right? I got to be able to feel comfortable and confident and empowered and good in it. And so, again, it was the one place where I took charge and control, in my life, and I was like, okay, we're going through these questions, we're asking these things, anything that came up that like I didn't like or that we didn't, what do you mean by that? That kind of offended me when you said that. Well, I don't really agree with that. Well, that's not good. That's going to be an issue for me. That's going to be a problem. I was a totally different version of myself than you would have witnessed or seen in any other setting. Any other settings, Zahra, can you do this? What's going on with that? Sure, that's fine. I don't care. Happy to help, whatever. But in that situation, I was like, no, this is what I care about. This is what I want. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. These are my feelings. If you don't like it, you can move on, because I'm not going to invite some person into my life that's just going to make it not good. So it was the first place that I took control, an agency of my life. And since then, any other place where I have taken control and agency in my life, I have achieved the results that I wanted, right? So my marriage, alhamdulillah, was like the first, like, wow, I set this up and like we have this beautiful relationship. At first, I thought I was lucky. At first, when we were first married, like the first 2 or 3 years, and things were going really well, and like, I mean, and not things were going really well, just feeling like this is such a beautiful relationship, and then hearing about other people and their marriages and their couples, and I was like, what are these problems you guys are talking about? I don't know. And it's literally because I had done such hard work in the beginning to set it up to not have those problems, and so I didn't have those problems. And so at first I thought I was lucky. I thought, wow, I'm not experiencing those problems. Like, alhamdulillah, I'm so lucky. Alhamdulillah, like I thought, oh, we love each other so much, or we're so compatible, or I don't know, like we were able to discuss these things and figure things out. I don't know. And then it wasn't until many years later that I was like, oh no, you guys didn't do the work in the beginning. Oh, that's all? You guys didn't do the work in the beginning. Like, what? Like, you didn't talk about that before? You didn't, figure that out before? Have you ever had this conversation? Even now, you can still have this conversation now. But you've never talked about it? You didn't talk about it then, you're not talking about it now? Well, of course you're going to have this reoccurring problem over and over. And so that's why, like, I'm so passionate about, like, you can set it up right from the beginning. You don't have to, like, okay, it's so hard, but maybe inshallah, once we get married, things will change and we're together. No, just set it up right from the beginning. Just set it up right, avoid all of that unnecessary drama. Like, being in relationship, being a human is challenging and hard. You're going to face struggles and obstacles and roadblocks and setbacks, and unexpected things are going to happen. And you have to deal with them. You have to deal with these unexpected things. However, there are things where you know the challenge or the setback, and you can prepare. You can be, proactive so that this is not an issue. It's like going to the beach, right? It's summer and 4th of July. It's like going to the beach and not bringing sunscreen, a towel, blankets, float. You just come with nothing. Like, inshallah, I won't get sandy, and inshallah, I'll be able to. What? Why didn't you bring all this stuff? Yes, it's annoying to remember all the things you need, to load them all into your car, to drag them all the way across to the beach. But then once you get down to the beach and you set everything up, you will feel so much at peace looking around that people are like, where did you get that umbrella? And oh my God, I love your little grill. And wow, that blanket, is, whatever, deflecting the sand. And oh, your cooler mister is keeping you so cool. Like, right, everyone's going to come around you like, how did you get all this amazing stuff? You're like, I planned, I packed it, I brought it. Like, it's not rocket science. If you wanted to do that, you could have done it too. Does that make sense, guys? I don't know where that example came from, but I feel like it's a really solid one, right? Instead, basically, what it feels like for the Muslim community is like we're showing up to the beach of our marriage and like, oh my gosh, I'm just so hot. How come there's no shade here? Oh, I'm so wet. How come I don't have a swimsuit to get into the water? Oh, right, like, oh, how come I can't go see out my friends? How come I don't get to have we don't have this much money to spend on this? How come we're not allowed to do that? How come we keep arguing about this? Well, did you talk about it? Did you plan for it? Did you bring it? And if you do, your time at the beach can be amazing, or it can be miserable watching everyone else and Again, from my perspective before, I thought I was lucky having these things set up in the beach, but no, I planned them, packed them, brought them. And so you can look around and you can see other people either struggling or with their nice setups, and you can think, oh, I wish I was like them. You can be. You can be. Again, it is not a law giving some people blessings and denying it to you. It is you. You are the actor. You are the agent. You are in control. And so you get to make choices. You get to make decisions. You get to plan. You get to bring. You get to pack. And it's harder. And it requires more thought. And it requires more. It's harder. Excuse me. It's harder, but it's simple, right? It's straightforward. It's simple. But it is hard work. And many people are lazy. They would prefer to have some sort of more complicated system that seems easier, right? Like, well, when I get to the beach, like, I can just buy food from the cart and they usually have the umbrellas there and whatever. Like, it's this more complicated system of somehow you're going to jimmy all the things once you get there. You're going to get them from all sorts of vendors and people and this and that. And, I've got this towel in my car and blah, blah, blah. You make it really complicated because you think it'll be easier. Oh, it'll just, like, how important is this stuff? Like, easily, I can get to the beach and figure it out. It's easy, right? It's easy, but you make it much more complicated. To do all the pre-planning is harder, but it's also quite simple to, like, plan it and do it. And so if you haven't gotten the book, first of all, get the book, right? Like, it's a no-brainer to get the book. Like, I'm literally telling you, you will, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. It's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. It is hard. It is hard to have those uncomfortable conversations. It is hard to talk with a stranger about intimacy. It is hard to open up about, like, whatever, how you feel about polygamy. It is hard to say what your true preference is on whatever things. It is hard. It is uncomfortable. You feel uneasy. You're like, well, I don't want them to know. I don't want them to know that I, how I feel, or that I already like them, or that I had this bad experience before, or that my parents are like this, or they're going to judge me. It is hard. You won't want to do it. Your ego will tell you no. Your parents will tell you not to say that. The matchmakers will tell you not to say it. Your friends will even tell you, don't move too fast. Don't tell them that. Only say. And I'm here to tell you, because I'm your coach, and I'm not your friend, and I'm not your parent, and I want you to have an amazing marriage. And I'm here to tell you that you can do this hard thing. You can open up, and there will be someone on the other side who hears and sees all you have to share. And they're going to, first of all, be blown away. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with me. No one's actually ever told me anything real or significant, or very few people have. Like, thank you for trusting me with that information. And it just means that you're human, and I see you, and I appreciate it, knowing this. And then B, they are going to share. They are going to share their truth. I got this pimple or something. They're going to share their truth. And so then you're going to hear the real true them, for you guys to really be able to make a decision based on honest truth, instead of based on shallow showmanship of, like, I'm like this and I'm really low maintenance and I don't really care and da-da-da-da, and you don't have to worry and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well then when you get married and you're like, well, why aren't they doing this, and how come this is not like this? Well, you told them a whole nother false story of what you wanted and who you were. Okay, what question was I answering? Oh my God. So I didn't do premarital counseling. That's what it started with. I didn't do premarital counseling, but I approached marriage in a very professional way and went through a bunch of questions for us to figure it out, to set it up. And it was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable, but it was also amazing, because here was this stranger. And when I met my now husband, then we were living in different states. So we're communicating via email, and then phone calls. And it was amazing how quickly I felt comfortable and safe to share things that I've never shared with another person before. Like, still even to this day, thoughts and feelings that I've shared with someone, that I felt safe to do so because I made that commitment to myself. One thought that I also kept in my mind was like, I don't want there to be any surprises. So I didn't want this feeling that once we got married, that my husband would say to me, "You didn't tell me that," or "I didn't know that about you," or anything like that. So I was so open and honest because in my mind that I wanted to be that open and honest because like that's what I want. I don't want to then get married and like, "You didn't tell me that," or like, "You like what how to go through the whole courtship, dealing with the suitor process and then to hide something." Like it just it didn't sit right with me. I was very committed to not trying to present my best self. I was trying to present my truest self. And it was whatever was true for me at the moment. And of course, sharing that things could change. For example, if talking about hijab, I wore hijab then, but I also shared I wear it in different styles. I wear it up and down. Could I see myself taking it off? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think I could see myself taking it off. But if that thought were to come to me or whatever, I would talk about it with you. So you can share things about the future even if you don't know. But having those conversations, you need to feel open and comfortable and honest. So it doesn't have to be that, okay, I'm going to tell them these things about me, but what if I change? What if things change? You will change and things will change. But what you're also sharing about is your thought process and your reasoning behind it and what motivated you to be who you are in this moment. Because when you share those things, your thought process and what motivates you in this moment, that is more helpful to understand what could possibly be your thought process and motivation in a future moment where things might be different. All right. I think I'm going to end here. Unless anyone has any other questions. I need to get inside before all the bugs rain down on me. If this was helpful, put a little heart so I know. And if it wasn't, send me a question on what you want me to talk about. And if you need help, basically the job is to try and be more of your free, true self. And if you need help, that's what I do as a coach. I help you to do that. And again, it is simple, but it is difficult, challenging work because you're going to come up against all your insecurities, all your anxiety, all the other voices in your head talking to your aunties and your mom and this and that, telling you, "Not, you shouldn't do that. You have to do this. You need to lose weight. You have to go here. Why aren't you wearing makeup? Blah, blah, blah." All of these things. And so you're going against all of that to do what's going to be better for you. And as a coach, I stand with you and by you and help you go through a checklist of all the things that you need to do, no matter how difficult or challenging or uncomfortable they make you feel, so that you can, get to your spot on the beach with the most lavish, amazing setup ever because you put in that work. Okay? All right. Assalamu alaikum.